I have another theory
because
too. Yeah, go ahead.
You're ticking off a lot of core Democratic voters from those areas saying, why do these people get better benefits than our military veterans or impoverished Americans?
Jeff, I want to
Right?
hear yours first.
Well, John, all right, John, you make all valid points
That's
from the
because they're
perspective.
sanctuary cities, and there's
Right,
the
but
law
I think
says
that
they
they're
have to give them accommodations.
okay. But you're looking at this in terms of an American, and what I think if I look outside of America and this global agenda, there's an author, and I can't remember his name, who spoke that when there's two major powers and a new one is on the rise, in order to avoid war between the two powers, you demolition the previous power and build up the new one. And that would be demolishing the
Thucydides
United
Trap.
States and increasing China. So that I don't remember who the author was, but if somebody who goes back 100 years.
Well,
Kissinger
there's
was a big
enough
proponent of that.
corruption within
Who was
our-
that? Who is that, Greg?
Henry Kissinger was a big proponent of the Thucydides Trap idea, which is what you're talking about.
Okay, so if you were going,
I don't know if he wrote this book, but he
yeah,
definitely
so
pushed
if
this
you
idea.
have so if you have a rising power, China, and there's other people from around the world who have money, aren't American, aren't Chinese, you don't really care where you go, you have all the money in the world, it might be in their interest to have a controlled demolition of the United States and build up China for their benefit. It avoids war, which, if you have, it's like back to the Cold War with Russia and the United States. One had to kind of crumble, and the United States, or Russia, was the one that crumbled in that time. And the new crumbling economy, or hoped to be crumbling economy, would be the United States. And China rises up, and so on and so forth. So
And
that's the other theory.
Enough corrupt politicians that are in bed with China financially.
Easy.
And I know this is on both sides.
Some literally, not even just financially. Some are actually literally with Chinese spies. So,
oh yeah,
Eric, what's his name?
Yeah.
Fang.
But yeah, and all these like and what 20 different accounts and money coming in from China and a bunch of corrupt countries. To me, it's just like, why? I understand tribalism, and I understand, I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican, but anybody to say that that isn't blatant corruption or doesn't pass the smell test is lying, and they're not being intellectually honest, because this is horrible corruption.
Mhm.
They're like, well, prove it. Where's the money? It's like, why do they have all these LLCs and all these different money wiring accounts coming in? And then what? It's just nothing to see here. I'm like if the theory of this book is true, it's already been sold out, and the determination and the corruption within the U.S. government is there, right?
but if they succeed, though, there's no one has a. Well, at least I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know if it's going to succeed or not. I think it's a little more difficult to topple the United States' economy. Obviously, they're doing everything that would help that. But it's very different to topple the United States economy than it is like Venezuela or Soviet Union. It's a very different system.
Look at all these really weird moves that this current administration is making.
Yes.
Of course, there's going to be people to speculate, right? And it's not wrong speculation, because it makes zero sense. I mean, even from the immigrants coming across in illegal ways, they don't get work visas, right? How are they supposed to make money except to go to sanctuary cities and get the benefits there? That I mean,
and be turned into debt slaves.
Yeah,
themselves.
I mean, it's unfair for them, right? The legitimate ones, not the gangbangers and all that. And there's a bunch of those, obvious. But what the heck are they supposed to do? Except do petty crime.
They were lied
and
to
sell
too,
stuff. Yeah. It's
the people that brought them there are nothing but liars.
This is not empathy. This is horrible.
So DeSantis, I don't really know, but I didn't really read this article much, but DeSantis is kind of deporting right now. I follow a little bit of Florida news because
I
it's
think
obviously you heard about it?
His aim is the current collapse of the Haitian government and the gang members that took over it, kind of like what happened in Cuba.
Yeah.
Everybody in jail is not out of jail, is now out of jail. They emptied it, and now they got the gang members, and one of them was a police guy, and they call him the barbecuist or something like that, because he literally lights his opposition on fire and barbecues them. But what DeSantis is doing, and I don't know the details of it, is like the Haitians immigrants. He wants to make sure none of these brutal gang members are going to operate within the U.S., especially in Florida. So he's putting a couple more layers of scrutiny on that and saying, okay, no, we're not accepting any. It's a danger. You can't, until you vet people properly, you have no idea. And there's been plenty of bad acting immigrants that had unbelievable arrest records and were even arrested in sanctuary cities, and they didn't give them the ICE because it's against the law for them to do that. And then they commit murders like the one in Georgia. That is, the culpability is not vetting these migrants, the sanctuary cities not handing them over after they're arrested. And it's like, where's the accountability on these cities and the administration for letting these people in with zero vetting? And you can't tell me, even the FBI said that we're in a very volatile time with a terrorist attack. We have no idea who's in here. We have no idea. And not to mention, like I alluded to this in other podcast, 80,000 unaccounted kids, minors. They have no idea where they're at. 80,000.
Yeah, line them up.
Traffic.
Where
they at?
Huge number.
I mean, they cared about 4,000 or 5,000 under the other administration, which they eventually tracked down all but like a couple. But 80,000 are like, oh, it doesn't matter because it's a Democrat doing it. It's fine. It's like, no, this is gross. Stop it. It does. Quit being left or right. This is not cool at all. It's not for the safety of the American citizens. It's not for the safety and the welfare of the immigrants. How are they going to work without work visas? I would have came too.
Jeff, what's your take?
I'm wondering how we're going to pay the Social Security for all these illegal immigrants.
Yeah, right.
Do they get on Social Security?
We're already going into debt.
Well, if they're young and they're working, right,
Mm-hmm.
they can help contribute and pay. And if they're getting a paycheck, they will pay into it.
Yeah.
Right.
If they're working, but illegal, they're
But
not going to be able to
can't.
work legally. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, and to me, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but
I am.
why else would they be doing it unless it's nefarious?
Can I
At the higher
put in my
level.
2 cents?
We're waiting, Greg.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've been waiting because I wanted to hear what John had to say.
Yeah.
But I think, John, your reaction is exactly what some people want. And let me just back up and say, I believe that we're watching a show.
Hey, if you like these kind of conversations and you'd like to see more, click like and subscribe to our channel. And if you're at the computer and you'd like to hear the whole podcast, click right here.